Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. I'm getting an update from Novo Resources, and we're going to go around the horn to a number of different projects, all within Australia, to get all of you an exploration update. I am chatting with Mike Spreadborough, Executive Co-Chairman of Novo Resources. Novo is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol NVO, on the OTCQX under the symbol NSRPF, and on the ASX under the symbol NVO. Now, Mike, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a wide range of projects. We're going to start with the Belltopper project in Victoria, Australia. This is the most recent news release, June 4th. It showed the results from a 6-hole, just over 2,500-meter drill program. This was diamond drilling. I'll post figure 2 from the news release below. That shows the location of all the drilling. It seems like you've tested a number of different directions in or within this Belltopper area. One thing that stood out to me was these gold reefs. They're consistently referred to. You found some new gold reefs. Can you explain to us what a gold reef is, please?
Yeah, good to catch up again, Corey. So if people remember, we started this program late last year in December. It is really a follow-up program to work that was completed in 2022. It was a very specific program with 6 very defined targets, which was why when you look at the picture, you can see the drill holes we drilled are quite widely spaced and in all different directions because we're trying to test some geological theories. And we're very pleased with the results. We definitely encountered lots of gold mineralization, variable widths in the reefs, which I'll talk about in a minute, but we've also seen some variable grades. So we see this program as a great result for us. It's tested our geological model, and that's exciting for us. So a gold reef, we're talking about narrow quartz mainly type geological features. In Australia, we call them reefs. They couldn't be anywhere up to 1 meter to 8 meters in thickness. We've seen them at variable steepness, and they have quite a long strike length. So whilst we drilled these holes at the intersection of mineralization, we kind of have a little bit idea of the strike length, but we don't know mineralization continuity along the strike. So a great success for us. People will see us put this together now and really think about what is the next step at Belltopper. We'll do a bit of assessment of, are we seeing something that can be economically developed? And that gives us a flavor of what work we should do going forwards. So bottom line, good results, tested the geological model. So it's a great achievement by our team. People sit back and we should have an update somewhere late July on what all this means going forwards.
So table 1 in the news release isolates some of the best results. You do also have tables at the end of the news release that show all the results. One thing that we can see is that overall you hit a lot of different gold intercepts, all with, it seems like, fairly narrow widths. Is this kind of a stacked vein system? Can people think of reefs in that way?
Yeah, it's not so much stacked vein systems. If you want to use the term veins, we're actually seeing veins running parallel. Some of the veins cross-cut each other, and we're still getting a good understanding on the intersections that we've got. So by the time we put together a picture that people should see in July, there'll be a bit more understanding. But it's not like a traditional 6 or 7 veins are stacked. Some of these are very different orientations, which is why the drill program, I said, had those 6 separate holes, all targeting different features so we could test some geology. Not unusual for Victoria type mineralization up the road at Fosterville, where they're mining 1 to 2 meter widths in mineralization. Again, grade is everything here. We don't have a full assessment of grade. That will have to follow up in further drilling. So as I said, a really good program that we now need to sit back and think about what this means for the next step and whether this is a good indication that there could be some opportunity to have an economic underground mine that could make money.
So can you answer the question of where do you follow up, or even if you follow up on either any of these 6 targets, or if you just test other targets on the property?
Too early. It'll come out of our work between now and end of July. And I think what we will see is that we'll end up with, out of the 22 square kilometres of tenure, there'll be a box of about 2 kilometers by 3 kilometers. So that's about 6 square kilometers that we'll start to really focus on going forwards. That's what our work is showing. There is an area that is worth our attention, and we'll do some of that work later this year.
So, Mike, is it also too early to compare any of these type of results to any other projects, preferably in Australia, in Victoria?
Yeah, again, too early because we've yet to put them together to understand continuity. But the bottom line is if you're getting results like we had here, 5.6 meters at 3 grams per tonne, that's aligned with what could be possible to make money underground. So we'll have a good look at that as we do work going forward. So the results are very pleasing. It's just really now understanding how each of these reefs come together, and is it such a parcel that we can do more work economically and see if there's an opportunity for work going forwards in terms of, a possible mine way down the track.
So the news release also says that currently you're relogging some historic drilling. What do you hope to find out from this?
Yeah, so that work will flow through into the July work, but to put in context, this geological work and the drilling has shown that maybe some of the historical work that was done by previous owners needed to be revisited, and that's what we've done. And it's been interesting. We've re-logged and re-assayed some old core, which has identified intersections that had been missed by previous people. So that helps us build that geological story.
Now, how many holes, approximately how many meters are you relogging?
Oh, we've relogged over 20 odd holes over the past. That relogging is now completed. We're just waiting on the assays that come through. That'll be then put into the whole kind of review that we'll do over the next 6 weeks as we really understand the results of this drilling, not only in terms of mineralization, but by doing diamond drill core, we get a good look at the rock types, we get a good look at geological structures, and all of that will allow us to paint, I think, a pretty good picture of what's the potential going forwards.
Okay, so I guess overall at Belltopper here, you tested 6 different targets, 1 hole each. You hit gold grades in, I believe, every hole, but now it's about kind of reanalyzing and figuring where you're going to go back to and when you're going to go back there.
Correct. Spot on.
All right, let's move over to Nunyerry North. I know there's a drill program ongoing, following up on last year's program. Give us a bit of an overview of this program and when we can expect some results.
Yeah, as we've announced, we have started a 4,000 meter RC drilling program, and we'll also do a couple diamond holes to give us some core and a better understanding of mineralization at depth. And if you go back to the first phase of drilling that we did last year, we had some great results. Things like 6 meters at around 6 grams, 13 meters around 2 grams, 17 meters at 1.3 grams. So there was so much promise in the work that we did last year, and we were able to take that work and put together a good 3D model. And previously in our announcements, we had a long section of some of the mineralization that we've seen. So that gave us great promise to do the work that we're doing now. That program started in May and will run all the way through to early July. Depending on assays and analysis, people can expect us to start releasing results sometime towards late June. But the program is going very well on the ground. The geos are out there camping in the middle of the Pilbara, and the program has been very successful in terms of what we want to do in terms of drilling the meters.
Now, approximately how many targets are being tested within this 4,000 meter program?
So if you look at the previous release, I'd call them zones. Across the 5 kilometer strike length, there's about 6 or 7 different zones that we're testing in this program. The phase 1 program last year really focused on the center part of that strike where we had high surface grades. And so what we're doing now is really honing in on a whole range of different areas across that strike length to see if we can get a good understanding of geology, continuity, grade, depth, what's the overall complexity and style of mineralization. So this phase 2 program is really important. It is there to answer a lot of questions.
Okay. When we get some results, I'll follow up with you. Let's also quickly touch on the lithium exploration update that was released May 29th. This is the Quartz Hill joint venture. It provided some surface sample, more of a recap there, and then also outlined the drill program coming up. Approximately 9,000 meters of RC drilling is planned. What can you tell us about this lithium component and how that's moving forward?
Yeah, so the announcement covered the Quartz Hill joint venture, which is one of two lithium joint ventures. We have one in the Eastern Pilbara, this one, but in the Western Pilbara, we have a lithium joint venture with the large lithium company, SQM. So this one on the Quartz Hill, if you go back originally, Novo identified 22 kilometers of pegmatites. We were able to form a joint venture with Lithium, which is a private company that has great lithium expertise. So they've been great shareholders and also joint venture partners. So they have focused on building up the geology, a lot of soil sampling, a lot of mapping. And now it's really pleasing that they've started to put together a bit of a picture of a drilling program that they'll prosecute. So again, exciting news. It allows Novo shareholders to hopefully contribute to the lithium boom as we go forwards, and we kind of wait until they complete the program later this year and see the results. But a good first step by our joint venture partner, which is really great.
Oh, and LATAM is intending to spend about $6 million Australian during this year's exploration program. So I guess we'll have some drill results coming when they come out of LATAM. Let's also get an update on the JV with De Grey at Besher. Any updates you can give us in terms of the ongoing exploration here, please?
Yeah, so De Grey, as people will remember, is a wonderful joint venture that we have. De Grey have the 11 million ounce Hemi project, and these tenements that Novo have now joint ventured with De Grey are adjacent to that program. Novo's previous work and De Grey's work following that have really confirmed the same geological setting and geochemistry as what is seen around the Hemi project. So we still remain very excited about it. Drilling that was completed late last year before we shut down for summer had some really good, interesting grades, and you'll see in the releases that we actually were able to start to put together some sections. So this year at the De Grey, we've been really focused on building more of a geochemistry and a geophysical information. So they've kind of completed that work, and they are recommencing drilling, and we'll have a bit of an update on this hopefully in the next 2 weeks. We won't see any assay results for well and truly way down in July, but it's great that our joint venture partners are fully committed to this program. They like the ground. If you listen to a De Grey presentation, you'll hear that they talk about this ground. It's very important for them strategically, and because it provides a potential for processing feed into a second processing plant. So we have great relationships with De Grey. They're back drilling, and we look forward to seeing the results flow through later in July and August.
So, Mike, let's take a step back. For all the shareholders of Novo or those even looking at the stock, seeing all this drilling, whether it's JV funded or the company funding it yourself with more programs coming, I know you were just on the road meeting with investors, larger institutions. What can you tell us about what will move the needle for the company here on the exploration front when you have so much ongoing?
Yeah, I think there's three kind of themes at the moment. Number one is we are still seeing great gold price. I think, if I recall, it's about 16% up. So I think gold still remains a great place to be. And I think gold explorers, whilst at the moment we mightn't see bigger interest in gold explorers, but the gold price holding up really shows that there is interest and passion in gold going forward. So I think that's important. This year, Novo is very well on track on executing the programs that we wanted to do this year. We're very pleased that we've been able to get into Nunyerry. We look forward to seeing the results. That'll tell us what we have there. The Belltopper program's been completed with some interesting results that we'll kind of think about. And obviously De Grey are up there drilling. And then kind of in that picture of exploration, we're busy quietly doing continuation of reconnaissance, mapping and sampling, and you'll see us post-July start doing some scout drilling on a whole range of targets across the Pilbara. So we are executing our exploration program. It's always high risk, but we're looking for high rewards. We're very excited with what the program has in front of us, and we do trust that our work will lead us to some good discoveries. And I think the other thing to remember is we are in a good financial position as a company. We've publicly said in our latest corporate presentations that with our investment portfolio of over $45 million Australian, and we hope to use that over the next 12 months to be able to look for other projects that can come into the portfolio that will help us drive value. So I think Novo is in a great position. We're debt-free. We've got a nice balance sheet without any rehab on it. And so I think we're in a good position moving forwards as a great gold explorer.
Okay. Mike, thank you for this update. I'm also going to post a link to a webinar that we did back in kind of the middle of April that really did dive into these projects and all the exploration that the company has planned. Please, everyone, have a watch of that as well. Send me all of your questions. I'll get those all addressed for you as I bring Mike back on to recap more of the drill results. Mike, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate this update.
Absolute pleasure, Corey. And thanks, everyone. Always drop Corey a note if you got any questions.